Good evening and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting of August 22nd, 2013. As we wrap up the summer, unfortunately, and head into the fall, we have a couple of different things going on, and our first agenda item is our annual appointments and assignments to the Board of Selectmen of the different groups. So what we will do is go through our listing and assign to a board member when necessary. Then I also have a couple of appointments, actually 4 appointments, and I will do those as we go through. Okay, affirmative action, Mr. Ramsey. Well, we don't have to sign that. Anything you're associated, we don't have to assign right now. That's right, thank you, okay.
Should we just appoint?
Yeah, Dave, if that's fine with you. Last year we waited until September to appoint you to everything for some reason. I don't know, I don't remember that reason.
Probably just circumstantial.
Okay, so I will appoint Dave Ramsey as the affirmative action officer for a 1-year term.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, good. Okay. The animal control officer, Elaine Yoke, I have not heard anything from her.
Typically, you assign me to.
Thank you, Dave, you'll handle that. Okay, Board of Appeals, which I will reappoint the following 4 individuals for a 3-year term. 3-year? Oh, 2 3-year terms and 2 associate member 1-year terms. Okay. Tobe Dushman is a full member, 3 years. Gary Lowenthal, a full member, 3 years. Michael Donovan, associate member, 1 year. And Alan Fryer, associate member, 1 year. Do I hear a second on those?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good, thank you. Okay. The Board of Fire Engineers, we actually have to correct a previous appointment. We had appointed Peter Smith to replace the retired Pete Sherman. Unfortunately, we voted on a 3-year appointment at that time, but Pete only had 2 years remaining, Greer, is that correct?
That's correct.
So I would like to make the appointment of Peter Smith to a 2-year to fill Pete Sherman's role.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. So that's done. Good. As we move forward. The Board of Registrars is, we have an opening, but if I remember correctly, last year we decided not to fill that opening for the sake of parity.
I think we also decided just to keep 1 from each party, so we really should remove the second.
Remove it?
Okay.
Okay, good. Good, thank you. Let's see, okay, the board, bonded bonded constable. I didn't think we reappointed Dave McTavish last year. We were gonna leave that to the police.
Yes.
Okay, but okay, so we will not reappoint Dave McTavish and leave that open and leave it to the police?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Cable TV advisor, Bob Fusco. Should I be so bold as to say he'll do that again and reappoint him?
The protocol is for us to reach out.
Okay, Dave, would you like to reach out for that?
Be happy to do so.
Thank you. Capital budget. Carol, would you like to continue in your role as the Selectmen's appointee?
I would like to do it for 1 more year because we have some exciting progress being made in the capital budget process that
Good.
I'd like to see completed.
Good.
So, yes, I would, thank you.
Do we have to vote on that?
I believe we do.
Okay.
It's a voting position.
Thank you. So I would like to make the motion to appoint Carol Lisbon as the Selectmen's appointee and a voting member of the Capital Budget Committee. Do I hear a second, Robin?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good, thank you. Okay, on to the Carroll Management Advisory Committee.
I need to take care of that, so I will
Okay.
look into that.
Thank you.
Do we need to vote that or no?
No, only when Carol, actually,
Oh,
are you
I'm the liaison to that, so, yeah, I guess we do need to vote that.
a liaison doesn't have to be voted, but
Right.
right. Okay. Chief of Communications, Dave, you want to talk to Chief McGowan on that one?
Well,
Good. Chief of Police, same, well, that's sort of
he's got another-
technicality.
He's got another year of running.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, thank you, I'm looking at the line above.
Time flies, but not that fast.
Yep. Concom, we do not,
No, I think we took care of that. We're all set.
okay. Council on Aging, Joe Melican had been a liaison, and I'd like to take over that role for the next year. If there are no objections to that.
None at all.
None at all.
Good, thank you. We corrected the Dover Cultural Council situation, Greer?
We did.
Okay.
Did you want to appoint Amy Boyce?
Oh, thank you, yes. I knew I had things to do. My first appointment to the Council on Aging, my first and only. Let me get my paperwork here. Amy Boyce of 144 Walpole Street. I'll make the motion to appoint her to the Council on Aging for is that a 3-year term? Thank you. Or yes, we can appoint her to a 3-year term because there's open positions. Is that correct? Because that board can be so many people.
So whose position is she's taking, the position that was open from Eleanor?
Eleanor Boudry. Okay, good. Amy Boyce. Good. Thank you. Okay. Down to the Emergency Management Director's role. Dave, you want to speak to Jack London?
Certainly.
Good. Fence viewers. You want to follow up with the fence viewers?
Certainly be.
Is that like
happy.
a
Well, I'll be-
is that like
I'll be
an
glad to,
honorary role for ex-selectmen?
I'm looking forward to,
Becoming a fence viewer?
if you'll allow me, I'll
Absolutely,
give you a chance to catch
please,
up.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. David too, I haven't talked to him in a while. Okay. Finance Committee on Roads. Mr. Melican had been the liaison, appointee. And Dave, where you are the selectman's designee for that particular matter, do we need to put a selectman appointee in there?
I think under the bylaw, it has a selectman's rep, and a selectman as well as the town administrator ex officio, I think.
Okay, I will take that role. I will take that role, if that's okay.
It's all yours.
Does that have to be voted in? I imagine
I
if it's a
believe so,
bylaw
yes.
issue.
I move we appoint Jim Dolly to a 1-year term on the Finance Committee on Roads.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Forest Warden, Dave, do you handle that?
Certainly.
Okay, thank you. I have an appointment on the groundwater bylaw enforcement. George Winters said yes to another 1-year term. So I'd like to make that appointment.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We can take Bob Holler off the...
Yeah.
So we only need one person?
Well, customarily, we have a town engineer as well, and we will do that again, now that we have another town engineer, but I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet.
Okay. The next item is hazardous waste coordinator. And I have not been involved in that reach out in the past.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him either.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, historical commission. Carol, is this yours?
I usually have done this. Boy, we've got a bunch here. Okay.
Okay. Can we take this opportunity to appoint an inspector of building and zoning enforcement officer, or do you want to wait on that, Dave?
Typically, I talk to him.
Okay. Thank you. Including the wiring and inspector of wiring deputy?
Yes.
Long-range planning. I will continue my role as the appointee in that, if that's okay.
That's very kind.
It's an appointee, so I think.
Requires a vote.
I move we approve, appoint Jim Dolly for a one-year term as Selectmen's appointee to Long Range Planning Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. If I may skip along to the MBTA representative. That has to be changed. He obviously resigned last year, so we have a 2-year appointment to fill. Very quiet in the table right now.
Oh, I'll do it, as long as you tell me what to do.
And when you figure that out, tell us.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You'll speak to John Gilbert, measure of wood and bark, Dave?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. As we try to make this as painless as possible for our viewers out there.
Have we seen anything from the moderator as far as his appointments?
I have not, as far as certainly warrant, I haven't anything. John, have you?
No, there was a discussion and process this week, but we're still looking for one member of one. Two of the individuals whose terms expired have graciously accepted to stay on.
Oh, good. Who are those two?
That was Rich Forte and James Stewart. So
Good. Well, that's good. That's good, thank you. The Norfolk County Advisory Board. It's a 3-year term, and...
I usually speak with Bob.
Thank you. On to open space. Carol,
We have a couple of, I think we took care of those that are, some of them are re-upping, but there's a little bit more to do here. And we have a couple of openings. So if anybody's interested in joining the Open Space Committee, we do have, I think, at least 2 openings. I'll finish that up.
now, the liaison's role.
Right. So yes, I
You
would.
have been that in the past, but
Yes.
there'd been talk of maybe you taking other things and you...
Yeah, it's
Like
a wonderful committee, and I love it, but it's probably a good thing for somebody else who's going to be on the board longer to step in and get familiar with what they do and to support them accordingly.
Well, of all the things that I think I know, this is probably the least I know about, so I would like to take that role. And that's a liaison, so we do not have to vote that. Who's the chair over there? There's no chair.
Chair is Amy Moot.
Amy Moot, okay. Oh, there it is, thanks, I was looking for that. Okay, Park and Rec, I have been the liaison for a number of years, even though it's a one-year rule, so I will continue that if it's okay. Sometimes the continuity with these groups help. On to the Personnel Board. We have 2 openings, one particularly being the Selectmen's Liaison. Is that part of the bylaws also, Dave? Because
I
you're
don't think
the-
it is. It's just a liaison position, it's not a member,
Okay,
just a liaison.
I can do that. It's something I know about, so.
good. Thank you, Robin. Okay. I suppose we can handle the personnel rules, ombudsman, and the 2 of them. And I would like to appoint Dave Ramsey and Greer, excuse me, as one-year terms.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for volunteering. Okay, the police typically, Dave, we waited for that one? Okay, thank you. Our next committee is the Rail Trail Committee, and Carol?
I will take care of that one.
Okay. Another one of your favorites, recycling.
So I'm sorry that we've never really officialized that. I've just been going to meetings for
Okay.
years, so I'll have to continue to do that.
Thank you.
Perhaps we should add these unofficial liaison positions, just so we can keep track of it
Yeah.
to the list, so.
Okay. The next few, the right to know, superintendent of streets, surveyor of lumber. Do you handle those, Dave, and get back to us, all of them? Or
I handle all but perhaps the surveyor of lumber. I'd be happy to do it, but I don't think I've done it before.
yeah, I don't recall who has handled it, and I'm not familiar with it, so I might go after.
Oh, no, I mean, I know Dick, but I don't know but it's one of those.
So, town council. Okay.
Do we need to talk to Erica regarding the town energy coordinator?
That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
I think I originally appointed her,
She
so.
came in, I believe, in the spring.
Yep.
And did a great presentation on how
Yep.
she wanted to get the town more involved, and,
No, she's been doing a really proactive, wonderful job with that.
okay, on to the town report committee. We do have 2 openings, and I think I handled that last year, because I know I talked to Lauren about that, so I'll reach out. Good. The town sexton.
That's
I
me.
think you handled that, Dave, last year. Thanks. Treasurer collector. Okay, thank you. Tree committee. I can talk to, so let me talk to Laura Walter and John Devine, who has another 2 years, and I'll talk to those guys. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, Veterans Grave Officer and Veteran Service Director.
That's typically me, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And we had a brief talk with Mr. Cohen, the warrant. John, you're the chair, right, the chair, right?
Yes,
Congratulations.
we'll see.
I had been the Selectmen's liaison, and I will, if you guys want to raise your hand, I'll continue it if you want for the sake of continuity. Carol?
That's fine.
Yeah, unless, if you don't want to do it, it's one.
Well,
that
the
I
good
can-
thing about this particular group, warrant, is if I can't make a meeting, maybe we
I
can
can
cover
fill
and
in
things
for you.
like that. So on paper, I'll be the liaison and try to get to all of them, John, as I have But that's a good thing about this particular committee.
Okay.
Good. Oh, no, we have one more. Water operator, the deputy of the water operator. And Dave, that's you? Okay, so I'll continue. Yeah. Now. Okay, I think I've handled my appointments, COA, Board of Affairs, Peter Smith, and George for the groundwater enforcement agent. So I've handled those, and we've been assigned everything else. So, let us go to different business.
So given that you are now the liaison for open space,
Yeah.
then you should be working with Amy on the appointments.
Yes.
Okay.
I will reach out, hopefully tomorrow. Okay. Good. Thank you. Now, let's go on to the next agenda item, unless there's any other questions about assignments. Our next agenda item is the request to proceed with grant applications by Chief McGowan, Police Chief McGowan, for the Police Department E-911 training and support. Who can speak to this briefly?
Thank you.
Please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, under the recently approved gift and grant policy, all grants and gifts must be approved by the selectmen prior to be expended, and it is strongly encouraged that they approach us for permission before they go and seek the grants. These are two grants that have been recurring, but with the new policy come before the Board of Selectmen. One is for $10,000 formula amount to continue the retraining and recertification of our officers, and then the other one in the amount of $17,744 is for defraying part of the salary of the dispatcher and for purchasing a replacement copy machine. That's not coffee, that's copy.
Thank you. The first one, which is the running the dispatch, is that a annual?
Yes,
And-
has been, yes.
Okay, good. And the second one, I don't remember that from the past, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. Is that-
It's been happening for years, it just didn't require the board's approval.
Okay, good. Well, I applaud Chief McGowan for being the first department head in the town to adhere to the new policies, number one. And number two, I see no reason why we shouldn't approve these. Does anybody have any questions on these? Carol, would you like to make a motion?
I move we approve a grant for $10,000 for E-911 training and a grant of $17,744 for E-911 support and photocopy.
Obviously, the motion would be if the grants are accepted and the funds are received by the town. Okay, good, thanks. Next agenda item is to discuss the revolving fund policy. Now, we will discuss it in general terms this evening, but this is specific to the Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53D. And I'll paraphrase for the purpose of this general discussion. But this authorizes the Board of Selectmen to approve the revolving funds of the Park and Recreation Department in its town. And while this has been in place in the Commonwealth for, I don't know how many years,
For as long as there's been a revolving fund.
only recently has it come to our attention. So it's our intent to put a policy in place without interfering with the Park and Rec's operations and how they handle all their programs, which they do a great job with. But really, it's going to be, our thought process right now is to oversee and improve and make sure that when they vote on excess funds that are outside the specific programs, whether it's $5,000 per tennis court being set aside or whatever the case may be, that they would have to come and it would have to be approved by the Board of Selectmen. And if they want to change that during a fiscal year, they'll have to come before the board to get that approval before they can change that. This is not something that we've created. It's a mass general law that we will adhere to. Again, it's a general discussion this evening. We will be putting that policy together, and the reason we want to talk about it this evening, because Park and Rec at this time of year generally starts deciding what to do with the excess funds and voting on them. Any comments or thoughts on this?
Well, just a perspective, this all came about this spring with Chapter 44, where we were informed by council relative to the C-Park proposal. And as we looked into it, we realized that there was more to Chapter 44, Section 53 than just what was relevant to C-Park, but also involved the revolving fund. So, and, you know, by law, the revolving fund can only, at the end of every fiscal year, only keep $10,000 of unrestricted funds. So, it does go to apply them to either current programs or use them to create new programs or new initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's...
Right. Good. Robin?
I think it would be a good practice. I think it's something Park and Rec has been doing informally, and just to make it part of the process and be compliant.
Good. Mr. Ramsey, you'd be working with the treasurer and the accountant?
Yes.
Mayor and something. Thank you. But all,
Yeah, this will also come in handy, I think, for the warrant committee.
Yes.
yeah. And it's not so much detail, John, it's the moving from one column to another during the fiscal year that's as important as the initial detail.
Oh, that's right. We tend to see one snapshot, and it would be nice to see
It makes it transparent.
Absolutely, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, thank you. Okay, our next agenda item is to approve the gifts and grants acceptance and expenditure forms, which we have been talking about and reviewing over the last 3 meetings, I believe. And then the forms look excellent, Dave. And Gray, you've done an excellent job in this. And if I am correct, we are now going to go out to the groups or all the departments affected and have their feedback right now?
Yes, for those who currently receive gifts and grants.
Okay. Any questions?
No, I think the forms are really good, and they will work very well with the policy that's been put in place.
I just have
Simple to use.
Yes, that was the hard part.
Right.
Yeah, because we have the backup to the policy, so all the issues that we have, all the points that need to be discussed can be done in a narrative attached to this.
In fact, if you know down the
That's
bottom.
in Section C.
Yep.
Okay.
This is a prompter for the people, treasurer and accountant, who will be handling these things do you have all the stuff you need?
Okay.
If you don't have it, should you have it?
Right.
If you don't have a narrative, you're proceeding at your peril.
And so the expenditure one,
These are samples.
okay.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yep.
So what's the timing on, you probably send them out as soon as possible. Will you give them a return date with comments so we can finalize this and get it going? What are you thinking on that? 2 weeks?
Get them out next week and just ask for comments for the next 3, and then we'll broadcast it.
Okay. So distribute to all the necessary parties, and a week later, so by the time we meet next, we'll be able to approve or disapprove.
I would expect that you can just formalize, because I think nobody's going to have any particular feedback on this. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Should this go into the volunteer packet once it's finalized, so that people who are newly appointed and elected who are aware of this?
Not a bad idea.
Good idea. That's an excellent idea, because there's so many times you've heard
Because
of,
it's new and people are going to forget.
well, even if
Especially
it's not new.
smaller grants.
if you're newly elected,
You don't know.
we don't have formalized training
Right.
and educational program in the town. And a lot of things sometimes, like myself, I'm not a career government person. So a lot of things I have to sort of either raise my hand or Mr. Enzo smack my hand and tell me what to do. So I understand that. Okay. Do we have to vote to accept these, or we wait until they come back with all the comments?
You don't really need to vote them at all. You voted the policy, and these are just administrative forms. You can if you'd like, but certainly I'd wait till you get the feedback.
Good, thank you. Next agenda item is the status update on the purchase of the Dedham Street Chapter 61A parcels. And Carol, you've been keeping us up to date on everything, if you would, please.
So, things are moving along nicely. We're working now off the timeline that our town council has put together of everything that needs to be done between now and the September execution of the purchase and sale agreement by the board. The Conservation Committee did vote at their August 14th meeting, various forms that are included in your package, prepared by town council. So they've now completed their legal responsibilities on that. I'm pleased to report that as of last week, the Dover Land Conservation Trust was being very successful in their fundraising efforts and fully expect to be able to meet their obligation within the next week or so. So after Labor Day, we'll be in touch with them again. And Greer has been working with Paul McManus, our wetland specialist, to do the environmental review and so forth. Greer?
He has done a national database search for any reports that might be available, of which none have been found. He's also done research locally here at the townhouse with the various departments who are involved in land use, which has revealed nothing. And he has done his site walk. He has a few questions about one area, and so he is reviewing that at this time.
Okay.
But we're moving it right along.
And everything looks fine at this point. We don't expect any hiccups or anything that would prevent us from acquiring the property.
Just so I'm clear, though, so we will have, on September 11th, if everything goes well, we'll execute the notice to exercise the option according to the timeline?
That's correct.
Okay.
And also execute the purchase and sale.
So-
Yes.
The donated monies, pledges, they'll commit to a certain number, whether they have it in hand or not, they'll commit.
Well, more than a commitment, and I've been in communication with them and sent them a recent email making sure that they understood that we cannot, as a board, sign a purchase and sale agreement without full confidence that the funds are available, because we have no other source of funds.
Right,
So we actually need to have the funds in hand.
good.
So the Dover Land Conservation Trust will be getting us a check for the amount, whether it's from their donated funds or however they choose to work their own cash flow issues,
Good.
prior to September.
And these funds will have to be accepted in accordance with our new gift
Exactly.
policy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So they're aware of the paperwork requirements?
Probably not.
We'll handle it, trust me.
Okay,
For
all right.
$200,000, we'll make it as easy as
Right.
possible.
I was going to ask if you wouldn't mind doing it.
Not at all.
Excellent, good point, though. Okay, thank you. Our next agenda item is a request from the Board of Health for additional lands for the dare management program. And the Board of Health asked for an additional some 55 acres and two parcels in the town. And while this request is in line with the type of request they've made over, I think this is the third deer culling season.
I think this will be, yeah.
Situation. I would prefer that the Board of Health come in and better talk about the land that they're requesting, because the maps that they have provided, and I thank you for that, doesn't really show addresses or anything, it just shows parcel numbers, and for the layperson, probably couldn't really figure out who lives there, who the abutters are, have the abutters been talked to, what's the minimum acreage for deer culling. So if we can get the board help in here, for just a quick presentation, a couple of quick questions, I'd like to put this off to the next meeting, or whenever they can appear, obviously.
I'm sure Barbara Rothschild would be delighted to come in and
Great.
give you that
That would be great.
information.
Do you have any other?
No, again, I think we need to, I need a refresher on the policy.
Yes.
And also, because I know we added property last year as well. So I'd like to see what we have already in the inventory of property
Yes.
that we're adding to.
Right, and I think the questions we have are just, have the abutters been notified? If she could just refresh us on the policy.
Right. And I always like to get Chief McGowan's input too. She's talked to him, and, I mean, this is a legitimate request, and I understand it, but it's too open-ended right now without what I feel is the due diligence that we need to approve this.
Okay. Get all that information.
Thank you. So we'll table that until a further meeting. And if that's okay, I'll move on. Thank you. Next agenda item is the stop sign at Rigger Road. And I don't know if we talked about this in the past, but I believe in June received a letter from a number of residents on Rigger Road and the corresponding neighborhood about the speed that some motorists take down Rigger Road. Dave, do you want to continue this discussion?
Well, as a result of that, the chiefs had a series of meetings, interactions with the residents, and come up with a recommendation for a stop sign at the intersection of Pond and Rigger Road.
Okay.
They do a lot to calm the traffic in that area.
Good. I know that this is the second step, because I think the stop signs at each end of Rigger Road were put in just a couple of years ago. Yeah.
And that has really helped in both those locations.
Good. Now, that being said, do we have to, okay, we have to approve that. And then do we notify the group of some, I think it was 24 people who signed this, or do we just put it up and?
We'll put it up, and the chief will notify the residents that
Good,
this
thank
is
you.
happening.
Then I will make the motion to approve the stop sign on the corner of Pond Street and Rigger Road.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next agenda item is to vote on the energy assistance insert in the September tax bill mailing. And, okay. This is legal, and the assessors have said yes and all that good stuff?
This would require approval by the Board of Selectmen for inclusion in the tax mailing.
Okay, and the assessors are not involved or anything like that?
Nope.
I know when Erica came in last winter or spring, whatever, and reviewed the program, and she's just doing a wonderful job. I'm wondering if one of the issues has always been the confidentiality of it. And that word does not appear here.
Ah, excellent point. I remember we talked about it at that meeting also.
So perhaps Erica can change the wording to include
Privacy and,
for further information, assistance with these programs, with full confidentiality or something. She can work up the old words.
yeah,
Sure.
that's a good point. That being said, should we hold off on the vote or just?
Well, I think we've got a timing issue with the,
I think
I don't.
we have the sense of the board, and if you vote to insert, to approve the insert with the revised language, that would be
Good.
sufficient.
Carol, can you make the?
so I move we approve an insert in the September tax bills involving the energy coordinator opportunity in Dover, with a amended flyer.
Do I hear a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next agenda item is the spring meeting schedule. But before we get on to that, I believe, Carol, you have problems on next scheduled meeting in September?
I do. We have a meeting on the 11th of September, and then we had one scheduled for the 26th, and my apologies to the board, but I cannot make the meeting on the 26th. So if we can find a time to change it, that would be great. If not, I fully understand as well.
Okay, so 24th or 25th would be okay for you?
Either of those days work for you?
Of course, I should have looked at this ahead of time, right? No, that's why, because I'm out of town
Okay.
The whole week?
the whole week.
Okay, so we're meeting on the 11th, so I don't,
And then we're meeting again on the October,
we get the 7th, I think.
yes,
I don't
the
have it in
7th,
front of
right,
me.
October, oh,
8th.
yes, October 8th.
Sorry, 8th.
So we could either do a meeting the week of the 1st, or we could do one the prior week in September.
Either way, you're gonna have back-to-back week
Yep.
meetings. And
Or we don't
I-
hold it at all.
On the 30th.
on the 30th of September.
Right.
Oh, just to break it up a little?
Right.
Yeah, they'll give you ample time, but equal time, I should
Right,
say,
right.
between the 30th of September?
Monday, the 30th?
Yes. And the 26th. Good. We don't vote on meetings. No. So just clarity, we had scheduled a Board of Selectmen meeting on Thursday, September 26th. That has been rescheduled to Monday, September 30th.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. On to the board spring meeting schedule. Where we had voted all the way through to December.
That's correct.
Riv's very optimistic, calling it a spring meeting. Spring, it's official, spring is right in January.
This is now.
Let's get it started.
Right, I'm with you.
Last scheduled meeting is December 19th, 2013. And then basically it'll bring us into January. And the first Thursday, which would make sense, which would be January 2nd.
Day after New Year's?
Well,
It's interesting.
Do you want to start the 9th?
well, that time of year, a lot of things are moving around and, but I don't know
Only because
how much
it's
work we can get done on the
holiday
2nd.
It just seems- Or we could do it maybe the 7th, the Tuesday.
I guess I don't have an issue with the 9th, the 7th, 9th is splitting hairs at that point. Carol, any thoughts on the 9th?
No, unfortunately, I don't have my Thursday Board of Trustees calendar, but, so let's just proceed.
Okay, we'll set it on the 9th of January 2014. Then scoot along to the 23rd of January 2014. Keeping a sequence, the next meeting would be February 6th.
Yeah, see, I think my Thursday board meetings are the first Thursday of the month. So,
Okay.
So
We can
should
set
we
it for
do
the
it
5th. Okay, 5th of February 2014.
okay,
The 20th of February, which is a Thursday, 2014. And we're into March,
March
So we would
5th
need to
then?
do it March 5th.
Yep.
March 5th, thank you. March 5th, which is a Wednesday, 2014. And
March 20th.
20th, good, because I leave on the 21st. It's the 20, that's my birthday for everyone out there who want, you know.
The 21st?
20th.
The 20th, oh, well.
We'll have a cake.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, let's go into April, which would be the 3rd, but Carol runs into that problem, so
Okay,
Wednesday the 2nd. And then Thursday, the 17th of April, 2014. May, that would be
Then we're getting
a
into
problem.
town meeting, right? So town meeting
So I
is
think
the
April
5th.
30th might be appropriate, because there's
Yeah.
a lot of things going on then.
It was a quick year.
Yes, it was.
Town meeting, oh my goodness.
Yeah, really, we're up at town meeting. So that's the, as Gray would say, the spring meeting schedule. Okay?
And we haven't had school vacation. Wow, we did well.
Okay, good.
Should we do one in May after town meeting?
Is the
You may as
February
well.
meeting a problem for you? Because it's school vacation week.
February?
February 20th.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm usually away. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. So we can,
Should we do it the
I'm
20th?
thinking the 24th,
Okay, that works.
Okay.
which is a Monday.
Yep.
Then the legal time between.
Right.
So we won't do it February 20th, we'll do it Monday, February 24th, Greer.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for thinking of that.
And then should we do May 8th, Thursday after town meeting?
Yeah, yes, that'll be important. That should suffice for now. Or do you want to go right through,
Well, town election then will be the 19th,
yeah?
right? We have a selectmen's election then,
May 20th, okay.
so then we should do the 22nd. Right,
22nd of May. Okay, good. Yeah, that's how it runs it through. Excellent, thank you. On to the next agenda item, which is the approval of 9 special license. I'll read them. I'll summarize the 9, and then we'll vote on 9 at once. The first one, the first 2 are retro, is that correct, Graham?
Yes, I think more than.
More than 2, more than 2. Oh. Okay. The first 3 are retroactive, which is, first one was held on July 27th at Elm Bank. The second one was August 4th at Elm Bank, a wedding. The third retroactive was held on Friday, August 16th at Elm Bank for a wedding. And going forward, we had Sunday, no, so it's the last one. Another one, Sunday, August 18th at Elm Bank, which is a wedding. Now going forward, August 30th, a wedding at Elm Bank. Saturday, August 31st, a wedding at Elm Bank. September 25th, a flower show preview party at Elm Bank. On October 13th, I can't believe we're talking about October, a wedding at Elm Bank. And finally, on October 19th, there is a wedding at Elm Bank again. All of these have been approved by the chief prior to us voting. So I'll make the motion to approve the 9 special licenses as just described.
second?
All in favor? All right, thank you. Break them up.
You know, I'm definitely gonna have to get a new signature, because mine is actually legible.
Yeah.
I'm the outlier here.
Sign the agenda.
It needs signing.
We have talked
Oh,
about it,
that's my
Robin.
agenda.
Is it? No, okay.
I gave you
We
my
have talked
agenda.
about it, Robin, but that's the worst signature I've ever seen.
No, I've seen a lot worse.
Let's see.
Look at this one, it's no better.
Oh, here's another one.
Oh, good, thanks.
You pass those to Grant, thank you.
Right,
Oh, one more.
thank you.
Okay, under other business, we have Breaking for AIDS bicycle ride.
Now, there's a problem dealing with the form letter.
Yep. Yes, yes. And bear with us, will we just go through this for a second? Or if Greer or Dave want to give us a synopsis of this particular request?
They've been here before. It's been reviewed by the chief. He has no problems with it. The proposed route is attached.
I don't remember this group. Is this a recurring ride?
I believe so,
It
yes.
has been through, yes.
And I believe Chief Farrell's references there because he was the chief at the time.
Ah, thank you. Boy, there's two shots in this one, yeah. Good. I just don't recall the name of the ride. We have a lot of rides coming through Dover, obviously. So here is the route, and this is on Friday, September, oh, on a Friday. That's interesting.
75 to 100
It's a
riders.
3-day ride, so, and it would pass through Dover.
Between 7:15 and 8:30 on Friday morning.
As a motorist during that exact time, this is gonna, especially at the beginning of the school year.
Going onto Farm Street.
I mean, there are going to be school buses on the road at
Yeah.
that time.
The police don't shut off these streets for these rides, do they?
Now, and since this isn't a race, they're all strung out, so it's not like they're clogging the lanes of traffic. They're just on the side of the road.
Will be outside of the center of town, so other than, Void Haven, Pleasant, Springdale.
Farm Street gets a lot of traffic in the morning.
Yes.
Of course, it's going the opposite
only
way.
cross-
No one's too patient either.
Right. It's going the opposite way, though. They're going to be going down Farm Street towards Sherburne, and most of the traffic is coming from Bridge Street.
Right,
Up.
right.
So-
Which is probably why we've never really noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you guys are comfortable with a Friday morning rush hour,
The chief is comfortable with this, correct?
Yes.
Right.
I move we approve the Breaking AIDS ride for September 27th.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Do I have to sign? Excuse me, Rich. Thanks. Okay, as we move along, the next ride is for the ride for food bicycle ride. I don't recall this one.
Second annual.
Well, again, a lot of rides. So this one is for Sunday morning, September 15th. And the purpose is to raise awareness and funds to combat hunger in New England communities.
150 rider.
So they want to access
Oh,
parking lot on Dedham Street behind Town Hall. They
Right.
want to use that.
So we should make sure, because sports teams,
That's an excellent point.
sports teams
Fall.
reserve that
The car
well in
wash and-
advance.
We
and this-
checked with David Cash, and he's already approved it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently it wasn't booked.
Okay. This particular fundraising, they don't really, well, it's a ride and we have nothing to do with collecting money and paying.
No, it's
Out
just
money,
for
so-
awareness.
Yeah. Okay, I guess if Chief McCowan's looked at this also?
He has, he's spoken with Mr. Jundanian.
Okay. And he has no issues to speak of?
He does not.
Okay, anybody else going to be affected other than Park and Rec and the police on this particular matter?
No, and it's on Sunday, so traffic should be light.
Right. And the use of the town hall property for parking is not an issue, Dave?
I've already spoken to Dave McTavish, and he's fine with it.
Yeah, he's good.
He handles the parking lot.
Well, if that's the case, I don't see an issue with it, that we should stop it. So I'll make the motion to approve the second annual bicycle ride for food, which is, again, to raise awareness and funds to combat hunger in New England communities.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next agenda item is, as we move toward the end of the agenda, is to approve the July 11th, 2013 open session meeting minutes. And if you recall, we reorganized the board that evening. We had Pete Sherman in here and recognized his great service to the town over many years. This one also included the farmer's market, which is starting, is that starting next Saturday?
I think it's starting in September.
Thank you. Thanks. I hope that goes well, because I think that'll be a great little asset for the town and farmers market. Okay. We had said in these particular minutes that we were going to further discuss the regional school athletic fields. Briefly, and I don't want to get off minutes here, are they going to come in and do a little dog and pony to explain what the heck's going to go on?
We're going to invite them in to present to the board.
Good.
I can take care of that.
Yeah.
You want to talk to them?
I will.
Thank you, Brooke. Since the minutes said we'd meet, talk about it this evening, that's the only
Right,
reason I brought it up.
and for the record, I was remiss.
Okay. Well, you know,
To
it's
them.
okay. Okay, good. Minutes look excellent.
Move, approve the minutes of July 11th.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Next agenda item is to approve the July 11th, 2013 executive session meeting minutes. And if you recall that we pulled the board to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining. Okay, these minutes look to me. Carol?
I move we approve the minutes of July 11th executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. One of my favorite line items is citizens' comments. And do we have any comments this evening? No? Great, thank you. Then I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Good evening.